You know, it's crazy to think that I am staring at a mirror and I'm riding a motorcycle. I never would have thought that would have been me. Never in a million years. When I decided, you know what, let's go ahead and become a motorcycle pilot. The first obstacle was obviously my mom and dad. You know, I had to get them to be like okay with it. Yeah, that was a hard obstacle at first, but they agreed to it. They saw that I was like I pretty much became obsessed with motorcycles. Like I really became obsessed with motorcycles, like to the point where I can tell you what kind of bike it was from a distance by the tail, by the exhaust sound, by the note. It was pretty wild how I can isolate it. But yeah, the first challenge was getting my parents to be okay with it, which was surprisingly difficult, but not as difficult as I would have thought. They even went to help me. My dad even went to help me buy the first motorcycle I ever bought. But yeah, parents getting them on board was hard for sure at first. I mean, right now, even then, like right now, like they're still always like, oh, you're gonna go out on the motorcycle? I'm like, yes, I'm gonna go out on the motorcycle. Especially now that after I had an accident, like at the beginning of February, I crashed, you know, and I destroyed my R6. It wasn't my fault. It was freaking lady's fault, man. It was that lady's fault. But yeah, you know. And then I did a lot of research and like I watched a lot of videos about it. I learned all about motorcycles. I didn't even know the counter steering was a thing. Like when you ride a bicycle, you never think about it, but on a motorcycle, you know, you push to go left and essentially the bike is technically turning right. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I had to learn and like pick up on, and I did that. And after that, you know, I think I was like 15 when I first like decided, I think it's when we moved from Fullerton. No, even before then I wanted one already, you know. I don't know why. There was something that activated in my mind, and I was like, I want a motorcycle. And like, I don't know, I just really wanted one, and I wanted one, and I became obsessive about it. So yeah, I did a lot of research, watched a lot of videos, read a lot of stuff about motorcycles, and you know, try to figure out everything I possibly could before I even had a chance to get on one, because I have nobody in my family that rides. So yeah, you know, like a lot of this was gonna be my first time, you know. So, like it was gonna be my first-hand experience on everything. There was no one to ask questions about. Didn't even bother looking. Freaking assholes. Freaking a-holes. But yeah, it was my experience to learn everything I could and prepare myself to be put onto these roads, you know, because it's not like I was gonna be able to ask anybody like references and like, oh, how does this work, how does that work. It was just me by myself and YouTube. A lot of YouTube. Yeah, YouTube was my YouTube and More Dev 13. If you look up More Dev 13, you'll know, like, his older videos are so like informative. Yeah, I did a lot of research on it, and then obviously my goal was I need to take the MSF course. That's the first thing I decided I needed to do, take the MSF course, because at least it'll let me use the bike and get myself like introduced to a motorcycle, you know. They're not big bikes, but it's the fundamentals are going to be taught, you know, and like the very basic fundamentals is what I needed to like explore and like get to know. So yeah, I signed up for the Cerritos College class for the Cerritos College Motorcycle Safety Foundation course, which I absolutely loved doing that class, because it was my first taste. It was my first taste of riding a motorcycle, and I knew I wanted to do this thing forever. I knew then that that experience was enough. That was enough to get me like hooked on it, dude. Like I knew I wanted to be a motorcycle rider, a motorcycle pilot. I knew I wanted to get a motorcycle after that class. I knew it for sure. That's why I tell everybody, if you're not sure, take the class, see if it's for you, and if it's for you, then do what you gotta do, buy what you gotta buy. After I took that class, I think I was like 16, 17 at the time. 16. No, I think I was 17 at the time, right? So like I had to work on getting myself a motorcycle, and I was working with my brother, and then like at the time, like under the table, you know. And I just actually, before I took the MSF course, I had just gotten a job at Disneyland too when I turned 17. I went with some friends jokingly to apply, and I ended up getting a job at Disneyland. So I had a source of like get paid and make money, and not a lot, obviously. In high school you can only work so many hours, you know, but like I had a job and I was making money. In the summer I can save up money, So like when I eventually like hit 18, I can buy a motorcycle, save the whole year. That was my plan. I already had the permit done, I had that part done, and my mindset was, okay, I need to get something like a Ninja 300. Back in the day, there's a 250. That was very limited options, and if you're going to used market, they had a lot of the older Ninja 250s, the carbureted ones. Smells good. So yeah, I was on the internet scouting and looking for a Ninja 250 to buy, you know. And there were some questionable bikes that I even looked at that like eventually got my parents involved, and they're like, dude, we're not gonna let you buy some like piece of crap motorcycle that's gonna break on you and like put you in more risks than you're already putting yourself into. So then my dad agreed, you know what, let's just go buy a motorcycle. We'll buy one brand new for you, which is not a great idea, but not a bad idea. The motorcycle I bought, I was gonna buy a Ninja 300, and at that time they were like 3,500 to 4,000. You know, it wasn't too bad. So yeah, we went to the dealership, me and my dad, and I was set on the Ninja 300 because I wanted to, like, you know, get to know what it's like to be on the road, get some experience underneath me, and just get comfortable riding a motorcycle, like, you know, before I ended up getting the ultimate goal, which was, in my mind, the ultimate goal was the Yamaha R6. I absolutely love the way the R6 looks. You know, it's a cool looking bike. It sounds awesome, and it's so fast from what I've seen on YouTube and stuff, and I was like, I want the R6, but I'm not ready for the R6. So we went to the dealership, and we left with a Ninja 650. Yeah, we did not leave with the Ninja 300. We ended up leaving with a Ninja 650, and I got that bike like a couple of days before my birthday and a couple of days before graduation. It was the coolest thing. To me, that was the coolest thing ever, you know? So yeah, I ended up getting the Ninja 650R, which, may I add, was probably the best decision and one of the best choices to like actually learn on. Like, yeah, I crashed the bike and dropped it multiple times. I didn't crash it, I dropped it. There's a difference. Crashing is like hitting something, but dropping it, slipping, you know, that happened quite a bit. You know, it happened a lot in the first like couple of years when I was riding the Ninja 650. There's just it's a learning curve, you know, like you're learning all these crazy concepts, road conditions, and I don't drive a car, so all of that was new to me, you know. So yeah, ended up getting a Ninja 650. Absolutely loved it, you know. I love that bike so much. I learned so much. I fell so many times. I suffered with that bike many times through, like, you know, trial and error. I'm learning, you know, it's part of learning. You're gonna fail. So I fell a lot, quite a bit actually. Oh my god, on the freeway there was one time when it was raining, fell that day. The next morning I was like, I'm not gonna let this scare me. So I got on my bike, got on the freeway, took an exit. I didn't even realize it was muddy because it's things that I wasn't paying attention to as a new rider. Went on the mud, flew in the air, slammed on the ground. That one kind of hurt, but the bike thankfully mostly landed on me. So I was in pretty good pain after that incident. You know, like I said, I didn't crash, I fell, I slipped. You know, there's no crashing in there, it's just slipping. So I learned a lot with the Ninja 650R, and I'm so happy the guy at the dealership's like, look bro, you're gonna get tired of this 300 because you're a little... Whoa! That motorcycle on motorcycle violence, right? He didn't even stop. Okay, back to the story. So yeah, we got the Ninja 650, and I learned so much on it. Eventually, I did not want to get rid of my Ninja 650. What ended up happening with that Ninja 650 is I was parked outside of my apartment that I lived at the time, and unfortunately my dumbass neighbor ran my bike over. I was parked outside because I didn't park it inside yet because I was still gonna go out after, you know, ride and stuff. And of course I am at the store and I get a call, and I remember I was at stupid Forever 21, and then my manager of the apartment, she's like, yo Smiley, I got some bad news for you. And I was like, don't tell, what is it? She's like, you might want to sit down. And I was like, what's going on? She's like, your neighbor from downstairs just ran over your motorcycle. And I knew it was over then. And that's the life of the Ninja 650. And then 6 months passed by, and then I got the bike I actually wanted. I got the freaking Yamaha R6. Oh, I was so excited, man. That Yamaha R6, I got a brand spanking new as well from the crate. No, like 1 mile on it from it being moved around. Brand new Yamaha R6. I had that bike for 10 years. I absolutely loved my R6. My R6 went through an engine, broke through one engine, replaced the engine. It took me to the mountains. I learned how to ride aggressive. I learned how to ride hard. I learned how to ride for fun. I learned how to go to different places. I explored. I got lost on that R6. I love that R6. But this year, unfortunately, I had a tragic accident where it did not make it. And that was the story. That was the end of the R6. So now, a few months go by and we are now on an MT-09, also brand spanking new for 2024, an MT-09. Yeah, so now I'm on a brand new 2024 Yamaha MT-09. And you know what I love about this MT-09 is the fact that I'm back to like that higher, or like a seating position with the bars, and like actually having handlebars as opposed to like clip-ons, and I am absolutely loving it. I don't know if it's because I'm older, but dude, I am loving this seating position. It just makes riding so much more, to me it makes it like such an enjoyable experience to be able to just cruise and chill and ride. And I can go from casual, like, you know, to like just turning off all these switches and then going to a much more like aggressive riding stance. I can lean in, lean back, I can do everything. And yeah, that's where we stand. Oh yeah, there was a Gixxer in between there somewhere. when my Ninja 650 got crashed into, I had gotten money to buy a car, ended up buying a bike, and then some neighbor was like, I'll give you like 1,000 more than I had paid for the Gixxer. So I was like, yeah, I guess. And I honestly, I didn't like the seating position, and yeah, so I sold the Gixxer. I had it for like a week. And now we are on the MT-09. Like I said, I am absolutely loving this motorcycle for the comforts, the fun, how it makes me feel. It just makes me feel so happy to be out and about on two wheels, man. I love it. I am absolutely loving this motorcycle. See, like if I wanted to, I can go aggressive. See, this bike is like everything and every little piece that I've loved about motorcycles, and everything I've loved about riding motorcycles in the last 10 years, all combined into one motorcycle. Plus electronics. Electronics are the new thing. I love them. I love having so many electronic features now that I have them. I can turn them off. I normally do turn off a lot of my electronic assist when I go into the mountains, because I want to feel the road better. Instead of letting the computer do the work for me, I want to feel the road, and I want to make the decision that my throttle input, I want it, when I turn the throttle, I want that input directly on the road surface, you know. But other than that, I love having electronics. The quick shifters are great for canyons. I freaking love it on the canyons. This bike is like, it fits so many categories. It's so cool. Yeah. But yeah, that's my motorcycle story, man.